This is the story of a boy who challenged the might of the US government and paid the ultimate price. Jonathan Joseph James, known online as Comrade, wasn't just any hacker. He was the first juvenile ever jailed for cybercrime in the United States. At 15, while most of us were still figuring out school and friends, Jonathan was breaking into NASA and the Pentagon from his bedroom. But this isn't just a story about hacking. It's a story about youth, power, control, and tragedy. Jonathan was born December 12, 1983, in Pinecrest, Florida. His dad was a computer enthusiast, and by middle school, Jonathan had access to the family PC, a window to a new digital world. The 1990s were the Wild West of the internet. No TikTok, no Instagram. Just IRC chat rooms, bulletin boards, and text-based worlds where teenagers could become legends overnight. Jonathan thrived here. He learned coding, network security, and soon discovered vulnerabilities that could give him access to systems he wasn't supposed to touch. His first hacks? The Miami-Dade School District. Changing grades wasn't the goal, it was the thrill of outsmarting the system. Then came Bell South, a telecommunications company. Each success emboldened him. But Jonathan's curiosity didn't stop there. Between August and October 1999, Jonathan hacked into the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, the very branch of the Pentagon that monitors nuclear threats. He installed a backdoor on their servers, captured over 3,000 sensitive messages, and intercepted dozens of usernames and passwords. He wasn't after money. He wasn't after chaos. He wanted to see if he could do it. And then, NASA. Jonathan accessed $1.7 million worth of source code for the International Space Station's life support systems, the software that keeps astronauts alive by controlling temperature, humidity, and oxygen levels. NASA had no choice but to shut down operations for 3 weeks, costing $41,000 in damages and sending a shockwave through U.S. cybersecurity. January 26, 2000. The game was over. Federal agents stormed Jonathan's home. For a teenager, the sight of men in suits seizing computers was terrifying. The Justice Department celebrated his arrest as a warning to other hackers. Jonathan accepted a plea deal: 6 months of house arrest, probation until age 18, and a ban on recreational computer use. But here's the thing: Jonathan was a hacker at heart. Computers weren't just fun, they were his identity. Violating probation landed him in a federal juvenile facility in Alabama for 6 months, the first juvenile cybercriminal to serve time. Jonathan served his time, but freedom wasn't freedom. He was monitored, restricted, living under a microscope. Then, in 2007, disaster struck. The massive TJX retail data breach, one of the largest in history, compromised 45 million credit cards. Some of the hackers involved were people Jonathan knew, and so the Secret Service came knocking again. Even though no evidence tied Jonathan to the breach, suspicion was enough to shatter his already fragile trust in the justice system. Friends say he became paranoid, depressed, convinced he would be made the scapegoat. On May 18, 2008, Jonathan James was found dead in his shower, a self-inflicted gunshot wound ending his life at just 24 years old. In his suicide letter, Jonathan insisted on his innocence. "I honestly had nothing to do with TJX. I have no faith in the justice system. Either way, I have lost control over this situation, and this is my only way to regain control." These were the final words of a boy who had once outsmarted NASA, not for money, not for fame, but because he wanted to understand. Jonathan James's story forces us to confront hard questions. How should society treat teenage hackers? Should youthful curiosity be criminalized or guided into innovation? And how many Jonathans are out there today? Brilliant, misunderstood, one bad decision away from tragedy. Jonathan is remembered as both a cautionary tale and a legend in hacker history. His alias, Comrade, still echoes in cybersecurity forums as a symbol of talent, rebellion, and loss. Jonathan's story isn't about glory. It's about control, justice, and a young man whose brilliance burned too bright, too fast. Cybercrime isn't just a story. It's a threat we face every day. At Tileris, we use artificial intelligence to fight online fraud and protect people like you from becoming the next victim. Visit Tileris.com today to learn how we can keep you, your data, and your business safe. If this story inspired you or made you think, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more powerful cyber stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them.